I'm Daniela Trevanovic, here in the extreme startup space with co-founder and CEO of Tunezy, Derek Funk. Derek got involved in the music industry this past year when he started his own startup. So, Derek, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start off with telling viewers a little bit about Tunezy.
Sure, Tunezy is an online commerce platform. We started off in the music industry when we realized that musicians weren't making money selling music necessarily anymore. So it's a commerce platform that helps them sell experiences. And experiences are defined as anything online or offline where musicians can engage directly with their fans. So it could be Skype calls with their fans, backstage passes, meet and greets, dinners with artists, anything interesting and innovative like that.
So can you give maybe a concrete example of how this works out?
For sure. So Naughty by Nature is a hip hop group from the 90s, and they want to sell experiences. And they came to us and we gave them some ideas. They had a show, it was their 25th year anniversary for their song Hip Hop Hooray.
Oh, hip hop hooray! Oh, hey, oh.
And they were playing in New York.
What is the Wu-Tang Tank for everybody?
And before their show, which was at the Gramercy Theater, we had a dinner experience at a big steakhouse in New York.
We're here, man. We're here in New York City, celebrating 20 years of Hip Hop Hooray. It's going down Gramercy Theater. But this is the pre-experience, man. We hooked up with Tunezy, new startup. We're gonna show you how to do this, son.
Where we had about 100 fans come out, paying about $50 each to have dinner with this hip hop group.
When did you get this light bulb moment for the startup?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it came from speaking with musicians. We saw a lot of trends in the music industry. I think it's not rocket science, but since 2000 when Napster came out, when everyone started downloading MP3s, the music industry was facing a very difficult time in that people were downloading music, people were pirating music, and so musicians needed a new way to make money. And I remember every day just talking on the phone with artists and asking them, hey, how do you make money nowadays? Like what are some innovative ways you're making money? And more we found out that artists aren't making a lot of money selling their actual music. They're making a lot of their money selling experiences. So concert is a type of experience. Mm-hmm. And in the past, concerts were a place for artists to promote their albums, but now concerts are a way for artists to actually make money. And so that was one stream of income. And then more and more we start hearing more about these more unique experiences. And I think social media has kind of proliferated this new type of experience. And I remember speaking to one artist, her name is Tunezy, and she's on YouTube, Tunezy Music. And I asked her, hey, what percentage of your money is now through these experiences? And I asked her manager, and he told me that a pretty big percentage, around 20 to 25% of their money is now from these backstage passes, dinners with the artists before their shows. And then we said, hey, I think we're onto something. And as soon as we pitched this idea to the music industry, people loved it. And people saw it as a huge opportunity for the music industry.
We know that you competed in the NBTC in 2012, the competition. This year, our theme is Where Ideas Take Flight. So can you maybe speak a little bit about how NBTC helped your ideas maybe lift off?
For sure. So at the time of NBTC, we were still working out of my living room. And we were still trying to figure out the product, the vision, the direction. I mean, we've had it figured out, but we wanted to see what people actually thought about it. So it was the first public unveiling of our product and of our team and of just everything. And I remember signing up for it, applying for it, and I remember pitching. And I think it really was our first big, it was our first big win, for sure. And I think ultimately it was our first kind of moment in the spotlight. I think after we pitched once and then we got into final round, we pitched again. What was great was that, after we found out that we won, we had all kinds of people approach us. We had investors, we had the press, I think the Globe and Mail, we had people who wanted to work for us. So I think it was a great starting point, I think. And looking back, it was definitely a pivotal moment for our company because it was great for the team, it was great for morale. We finally thought to ourselves, wow, I think we're onto something. And I think ultimately, it definitely attributed to the success of the company. So after we pitched at NBTC, we spent about 4 or 5 months or so redefining the product. And during that process, we decided to actually pivot the company. And it was from speaking to a lot of musicians, when we realized that, okay, there's actually a problem that's here, and that they're not making a lot of money. Record sales are down, 50, 60% since the days of Napster. And we thought that there was a huge opportunity. And so we completely evolved and pivoted the product, and we pitched it again at another big defining moment, which was the Billboard Future Sound Innovators Showcase in San Francisco. So I think about same number of teams, about 80 teams internationally applied to go pitch. We were selected as the top 5. And then we went to San Francisco and we kind of unveiled our product and our vision to the whole music industry was there. I mean, record labels, VCs, I think Fred Wilson from Union Square Ventures was there. Ron Conway, the first investor of Google, was like a lot of really innovative, smart people were there. And as soon as we pitched, we ended up placing first, and that was another really big moment for us because we got validation from people in San Francisco, from Silicon Valley investors, from the music industry. And that's when we really realized that we were really onto something, and we completely just focused our new efforts on this new vision.
So Tunezy has recently been acquired by SFX Entertainment, and you guys have just moved to operate out of New York.
Yeah.
So how has this changed your entrepreneur kind of path?
We're all happy about the acquisition, and there's a couple of reasons why we want to do it. First was because we realized that what we're doing was great. I mean, we're helping musicians sell experiences, but we really want to be part of a bigger machine. I think what I mean by that is that there's only certain types of companies that can offer us the resources that would make sense for us to be part of that company, to join them either through an acquisition, partnership, et cetera. And so to give you a brief background about SFX, Bob Sillerman, who started SFX Entertainment, this is the second SFX. The first one was in the 90s. He ended up selling SFX, the first company, to Clear Channel. Clear Channel spun it off, and it became Live Nation, which is now the biggest ticketing concert company in the world. And this time around, the big focus was on electronic dance music. And I myself have been to a lot of these big festivals. The big one that SFX owns being Tomorrowland, which is in Belgium, 180,000 people, Sensation, Electric Zoo. And I think I was very excited about it because I saw more and more, especially on my newsfeed, social media, I saw people going to different festivals, people dressing up, these big DJs popping up. And it was very exciting for us. And I think to be able to be part of this big company and this vision and this new adventure was very exciting. So that was one thing that was very exciting for us. And two, being in New York. I mean, Toronto's got a great startup community, but I think being in the music industry, you have to either be in New York or in LA. Mm-hmm. And for us, being in New York was very exciting. And I think ultimately, working at a bigger company now is very different. But what's great about SFX is that they're very entrepreneurial. It's a relatively new company. I mean, the company just went public on the NASDAQ like 3 months ago. And so there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done. There's a lot of things that haven't been done that are now being done. And being part of that was very exciting, I think, for the team and the company. And so I think for every entrepreneur, exiting, either going public or selling to another company, I would, it only do it if it makes sense. And for us, it just really made sense.
What exactly does it feel like to be an entrepreneur? To wake up in the morning and just know that you have your own business.
So I have an analogy that I tell people. It feels like you are jumping off a cliff and building an airplane on the way down.
Fair enough.
Jumping off a cliff, building an airplane on the way down. And I say that because when you're an entrepreneur, you're not forced to jump, you're leaping. Like you're making a decision to leap. And right after your leap, the whole time you're just looking down. You're just like, wow, that's you could either fall smack down and fail, which which most companies do, or you successfully build a plane. And I think why I use that analogy also is because in order for a plane to take off, a million things need to happen. You need to have wings, you need to have pilots, you need to have engines, fuel. And for a startup to take off and really succeed, you need all these different pieces of the plane. So I think a lot of ways, that's really how it feels like to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's I think it's the best thing, the best feeling in the world to start your own company and to fulfill your vision and to build something from scratch. It's amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic analogy. For you personally, what did you have to give up?
Yeah, so before the startup, about 2 years ago, I was working in the finance industry. So I was working at CIBC World Markets on the trading floor, and that was what I gave up. And I think looking back, I remember the day I quit. I told my boss what I was doing, and he said, "You know what?" He's like, "Good for you," because when he was doing his MBA, he told me that he actually wanted to do his own company. But at the time, he had a wife, he had a mortgage, and there's just too much to give up. So I think for young people especially, there's really nothing to lose. Like, there's nothing to lose, and I think the worst thing would be when you're 40 looking back and you just regret not, making that leap. So I left finance after about 2 years working in finance and started the company. I think in terms of building this plane, there's different parts of it really quickly. The pilots of the plane are the co-founders, and it's very important to find co-founders that work well together and can drive this plane forward. The wings is the idea of the business, and because without wings it can't take off, right? So coming up with an idea is very important. The engines is the marketing of the company, and if no one uses your product, like how will your company succeed? And the fuel of the plane is the cash, is the money, and you need fuel to keep the plane going. And we raised money, we raised financing from a public company and some angel investors, and ultimately the people in the plane are your customers and your staff. And so I think all these things had to come together. But first, the most important thing is taking that leap. And I think a lot of people are scared to take that leap. And I really, encourage young people to take that leap because they really have nothing to lose, like nothing at all.
So where do you hope to see Tunezy in the near future or even in 10 years?
I mean, I think our vision has always been to help musicians and entertainers better engage with their fans. And right now, the focus is on monetization. How do we help musicians make more money off their most engaged fans? And I think over time, our product will evolve around that. So offering different tools, analytics for entertainers and musicians, and now being able to work with SFX and some of their biggest festivals, being able to apply our technology to Tomorrowland in Belgium, 180,000 people would be huge for us. Working with some of these big DJs like Avicii, deadmau5 would be huge for us. So I think there's a lot of exciting things that are going to happen over the next couple of months, years, let alone months. And I think being in New York will be very advantageous for us. And I think that it's going to be exciting. It's a very exciting time for the music industry. There's a lot of change, and when there's a lot of change, and when there's a lot of whenever there's change, there comes opportunity. Whenever there's problems in an industry, there comes opportunity. And I think it's being able to see that is very important for entrepreneurs.
Thank you, Derek, so much for being here. Please check out the Nspire website for more information on NBTC, as well as the Where Are They Now series. We wish you all the best with Tunezy.
Thank you.